What's up, YouTube? For those of us lucky enough to drive S2Ks with a cable rather than drive by wire, I'm trying to figure out how to adjust this cable properly. The tendency for everyone to kind of adjust it is to loosen up these 12 millimeters, pull this metal portion out to make the cable as kind of taut as possible. And I will show the problem with that. Before I go in the cabin, I do want to explain one quick thing. So the way that the butterfly sits here at idle, it's pretty much closed. And then when you go full throttle, it opens up 90 degrees. So it only basically rotates about 90 degrees to let as much air in as possible. So you can only move, this much. And there's actually a stop here at the top that it hits, and you can hear it. And so now that I've gotten it, super taut here, I'm gonna go in the cabin and show what exactly happens when I go to wide open throttle, and then we'll see what the problem is. When I push down on the pedal to go full watt, hopefully you can see here, there's a lot more travel for the pedal to go before I kind of max out. You can hear the click here. That's the click actually from the throttle body that I was showing earlier, that it only rotates 90 degrees and no more. But the pedal still has probably a good 3/4 of an inch until it actually goes to the floor. So now I'm going to go back and adjust the cable on the throttle body super loose, and then we'll see what that does. Okay, now I've adjusted this so that the cable is as loose as possible. You can see it's just kind of dangling here. So let's go in the cabin and see what happens when the gas pedal is pushed all the way. Let's go all the way to the floor. Now what you can see, this noise is just the pedal hitting in the back here, but we don't actually hear the click from the throttle body fully opening. You see there's just so much extra play here to take up the slack in the cable. Plus the travel here is not even enough to fully open the butterfly 90 degrees. I can go show how far the butterfly opens. Where it should open to is all the way up here. So this slack in the cable will basically give you a sort of a non-quite responsive throttle, because all of this slack basically has to be taken up by you pushing the gas pedal a little bit. And so there's going to be a little bit of a hang, a little bit of a dead spot. So the question might be, naturally, why not get the cable tight enough or loose enough so that when the pedal goes down and hits the floor, that this kind of lines up exactly with this being fully open. And the problem with that is that there's this about 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch of kind of dead play, meaning that excess cable looseness that we saw earlier. And the way that I think that this should be done in order to have a pretty good throttle response without a dead spot is to actually make this as taut as possible, but then put a stopper on the back of the pedal to take up that 1/2 inch of a gap. And the way to do that, I'm gonna have to kind of figure out. I thought initially that I could thread something into that stud. The throttle pedal is a little bit offset by about 1/4 inch or so. When it meets up, you can kind of see here. So I'm gonna try to put something on the back. This portion here is actually pretty flat. And obviously the floor is flat. Alright, so I basically kind of shimmed it with, you know, wood shims until I can hear the throttle body opening and then this thing kind of hitting the back. And I measured it with a caliper here. It is basically right around 12 millimeters. So it's about half an inch or so. Alright, so here's kind of my solution that I'm going with. And these are soft touch pads. These are pads that you put on the bottom of the furniture just so it doesn't scratch the floor. This is a value pack of what, 48 of these things. Just for the price, I found kind of the best deal. We do have some furniture in the house that we could use this on. About 3 of these is what it takes to get to about half an inch. Stacking about 3 of these on top of each other and kind of, you know, compressing them a little bit gets me to right around that mark. So the way this looks from the cabin here, and now when I push the pedal, it hits right there just as we're opening the throttle body. But the cable in the engine bay is pretty taut. Yeah, so the cable here is pretty taut. I mean, it's barely loose. So I'll try this, see how it goes, but this is kind of my solution. Like I said, those pads you can buy 3M, you can buy Soft Touch that I did. There are a couple of other brands on Amazon. For like under 10 bucks you can get, you know, a pack of them. They come in all different sizes. There are some that are like 2.5 inches in diameter. I think that was a little too big. The one I got is 1 inch. It's a pretty good deal. Alright, that's a wrap up for this one, so hopefully this was helpful for someone.